Do you ever find that there's no time to practice Krishna consciousness? There's just not enough hours in the day. My name's Caitanya Vallabha, and today we're going to be exploring and asking the question, is it that we have no time or that we have no taste? So first let us explore the concept of time. In the Nectar of Devotion, Srila Prabhupada describes how there are 9 different characteristics of one who has actually developed pure love for Krishna. So we're not going to read all 9 of them, but we're going to read the first one. He is always anxious to utilize his time in the devotional service of the Lord. He does not like to be idle. He wants service always, 24 hours a day, without deviation. So in this regard, the first thing we should understand is that the process of devotional service is a science. We call it the science of self-realization. In fact, Srila Prabhupada has called the Nectar of Devotion the complete science of Bhakti Yoga. So that means that if we follow this process properly, scientifically, strictly and sincerely, then we will get the correct result, which will mean that we will gradually develop our love for Krishna and we will gradually lose our attraction for the material world. If we don't follow the process properly, we will get a different result. In fact, in the Ishopanishad, it is said that one result is obtained by worshipping the Supreme and another result is obtained by worshipping what is not supreme. Just like if we go to the doctors and the doctor prescribes, take this medicine for 2 weeks, 3 times a day. But after the first week, we decide, okay, I think I'm doing okay now, and we stop taking the medicine, then naturally we will get ill again. We will get we won't get the right result, in other words. So yes, so if we're following this process properly, these 9 different symptoms of one who has actually developed love for Krishna will start to manifest in ourselves. So it's like a barometer where we can understand where we're at in Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada, one time he said that you can understand the level of Krishna consciousness in a temple by 2 things. Firstly, he said how enthusiastic the devotees are for kirtan, and 2, by how nicely the tulsi plant is growing. So again, we can apply those things to ourselves and understand how Krishna conscious we are, and in other words, what improvements we need to make. But yes, we're just discussing the first symptom, which is that a devotee, always likes to utilize their time nicely in the devotional service. They're not wasteful of time, and they're not neglectful of time. So why is that? So one of the reasons a devotee doesn't like to waste time is because, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Kalosmi, time I am. So in other words, time is a representation of Krishna. And a devotee is always respectful and not neglectful towards Krishna. Like when we come in front of the deities, we offer some prayers, we offer our obeisances, and we offer respect. So a devotee respects time. They're not neglectful of time. They don't like to waste time. In fact, a devotee doesn't like to waste anything of Krishna's. When I first joined the ashram and I was cleaning my teeth, one of the devotees chastised me and he said, Prabhu, turn the tap off. You are wasting Krishna's energy. And I hadn't even considered that. I would always brush my teeth with the tap running. But he said, no, you should turn the tap off while you're brushing your teeth. Just turn it on when you need to rinse your toothbrush and you need to rinse your mouth. So a devotee doesn't like to waste anything that belongs to Krishna. So they don't like to waste time, because time is a representation of Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada says also that a devotee doesn't like to be idle. So Srila Prabhupada, one time he said that sleep is like death to a devotee. I have to say I'm not on that level yet. I quite look forward to going to bed at night. When I used to live in the temple, in the ashram, we used to call our sleeping bag the bliss bag. Yeah. But for a devotee, they don't like to go to sleep because, they're wasting time. In actual fact, Srila Prabhupada said that if you work hard to serve Krishna throughout the day, then at night time you will dream about Krishna. And also for a devotee, for a pure devotee, sleep is also devotional service, because they're thinking, I want to rest my body so that I have enough energy and enough enthusiasm and my body is healthy to serve Krishna tomorrow. Another point Srila Prabhupada makes in the Nectar of Devotion, he says that a devotee wants service always, 24 hours a day without deviation. In fact, one time Srila Prabhupada said that chanting Hare Krishna is so nice that we can do it 25 hours a day. In other words, a pure devotee is thinking there are not enough hours in the day to glorify Krishna. Personally speaking, I'm also thinking there's not enough hours in the day. But I'm thinking there's not enough hours in the day to do all the mundane things that I've got to do. Because let's be honest, we always make time to do the things that we want to do, right? We never say there's not enough time to eat. There's not enough time to sleep. There's not enough time to go on social media. Like myself, I like to run. I'm part of the Hare Krishna runners and I have a race this Sunday. And I very strictly followed my training block. But, do I make time to chant Hare Krishna? Do I make time to read Srila Prabhupada's books? Maybe not. So therefore we use this excuse, there's no time. But is it that we have no time, or is it that we have no taste? And something which helped me to understand this was a few years ago I broke my foot and I was housebound for 6 weeks. I was on crutches, I had to rest my foot, I wasn't allowed to go out of the house. Now, if someone said to me today, you can have 6 weeks to do whatever you like, and I would at least theoretically think, yes, I'll chant 32 rounds a day, I'll read the Srimad Bhagavatam, I'll learn some shlokas, I'll do this or that. But when I looked back what I did with those 6 weeks, basically, I just wasted my time. So therefore, I realized that it wasn't that I didn't have enough time, but that I didn't have a taste for chanting Hare Krishna. I didn't have a taste for studying Srila Prabhupada's books. So in a moment, yes, let's analyze how do we get a taste. But for now, I just wanted to focus on one thing. Some years ago, there was a study which was to find out, people who were on their deathbed, people who were approaching death, they were interviewed. What is the thing that you regret most in life? So practically every single person, they said, the thing that I regret most is that I did not do this or I did not do that. People didn't regret the things that they had done, but they regretted the things that they hadn't done. So we also don't want to get to the time of death and think, oh, I wasted my life. I didn't chant enough. I didn't, read enough. I didn't cultivate my eternal loving relationship with Krishna. I didn't cultivate my relationship with the devotees. Yeah, like this. And in fact, Srila Prabhupada says in chapter 8, text 5 of the Bhagavad Gita, he says that chanting Hare Krishna, he said, we have to chant constantly and incessantly. He says that it is not possible to remember Krishna at the time of death unless we have practiced chanting and remembering Krishna throughout one's life. Now, the point is that, we don't know when we're going to die, actually. Maharaj Parikshit, he was cursed to die within 7 days. We don't even know if we've got 7 hours. We don't know if we've got 7 minutes. We don't even know if we've got 7 seconds. I mean, this is a bit morbid, right? But it's a fact. So for instance, if today was our last day, how would we live our last day? I certainly would have lived it in a completely different way than I did today. That's for sure. I remember some years ago, I was chanting japa in the temple. I was having some trouble. I was a new devotee. And, I still often struggle chanting japa. But this particular day, my mind was really out of control. So this devotee, he said to me, well, just imagine if you were going to leave your body at 7 o'clock. So generally in the temple, we chant from 5 o'clock till 7 o'clock in the morning. So at 7 o'clock in the morning, at the end of japa, if you were going to leave your body, how would you chant your japa? And I got his point. So I really focused and I really chanted sincerely, really tried to hear the holy name. But actually, we should live our life as if it's our last day, every day. Not in a morbid way, but in other words, let us really try and cultivate our Krishna consciousness. Human life is very rare. It's achieved after many millions of lifetimes in this material world. We've got a special opportunity. We've got the great fortune. Lord Chaitanya was here 500 years ago. Lord Krishna was here 5,000 years ago. The Sankirtan movement is full swing. We can actually take part in Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. After I've recorded this video today, I'm going to be going out and distributing books. So these are Lord Chaitanya's pastimes. We're spreading the Sankirtan movement. So yes, we should live each day as if it's our last, and let us not, look back at our life and lament. I didn't utilize my time properly. I've wasted my time. Yes, like that. So therefore, I would say, at least for myself, it's not that I have no time, but that I have no taste. So how will we get some taste? So yes, part of getting the taste, the first thing is that we have to understand the importance of getting a taste. So of course, over and above everything else, the goal of life is prema purmata mahan. Lord Chaitanya said that we have to develop our love for Krishna. That is the supreme goal of life. But even just from a material point of view, like we say, I don't have time. There's not enough hours in the day. I've got too many things to do. I don't have time to chant Hare Krishna. So there's a nice little story in this regard. Once there was a man trying to saw, through some wood. And another man came past and he said, it looks like your saw is blunt. If you just come back with me, I can take your saw and I can sharpen it, and then you will be able to saw the tree much more efficiently. And the other man said, I don't have time. I don't have time to go back to yours to sharpen my saw. I've got to cut this tree. So yeah, of course, the point is that if he would just spend that extra bit of time to sharpen his saw, he would be able to do his sawing much more quickly and efficiently and smoothly. So in the same way, we may think, I don't have time to chant, I don't have time to read, I don't have time to practice Krishna consciousness. But actually, even from a material point of view, if we do make a little bit of time to do these things, we will find that we are much more materially efficient, our mind is clearer, we can think more clearly, we become more determined, we become more productive, even from a material point of view. So that's one thing. So it's definitely a fact that we become more materially productive by practicing Krishna consciousness. But this is just a byproduct. It's not the real goal. Like we said, the goal is to develop our love for Krishna and to get a taste in Krishna consciousness. So in one sense, to get a taste in Krishna consciousness, it's a big subject. We could speak for hours and we can maybe do more videos. But today we just wanted to keep it really simple. What is my next step in Krishna consciousness? Because, it's a long journey to get back home, back to Godhead, and it may seem daunting. This is where I am now, and that's where I've got to get to. But they say every long journey starts with the first step. So what is my next step? Maybe right now I'm only chanting 4 rounds a day and I want to get to 16. So next week, let me chant 5 rounds a day. The week after, let me chant 6 rounds a day. And like this, slowly build up. What's my next step? Maybe I'm not doing any reading just now. So I can just start by reading 1 page a day. And like this, we can build up. Even if we don't want to do it. Vaidhi sadhana bhakti means following the rules and regulations as if by force. Srila Prabhupada says, as if in military discipline. So if we just go ahead and we do it anyway, we get out of our comfort zone. There's one expression, feel the fear and do it anyway. It's said in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that spiritual life is like poison in the beginning, but it very quickly turns to nectar. Material life is the opposite way around. It's like nectar in the beginning, but quickly turns to poison. So yeah, sometimes it may seem poisonous. It's like, oh God, I don't want to chant, I don't want to read. But if we go ahead and do it anyway, then very quickly we get a taste. Prabhupada one time he said, even if you are not enthusiastic, act enthusiastically and then enthusiasm will come. Why? Because Krishna reciprocates. If we take 1 step towards Krishna, Krishna takes 1,000 steps towards us. So very quickly the taste will come. Actually, material productivity experts, they have one rule called the 5-minute rule, which means that even if you don't, let's say you've got to write an essay or you've got to, revise for an exam. And again, it may seem daunting or you may think, I don't have time, I don't have the inspiration. But you can do it for 5 minutes. Okay, let me just revise for 5 minutes. Let me just write that essay for 5 minutes. And then what happens is when we actually do it, we start to get some inspiration. Why? Because there's some momentum. So it's harder to move something when it's stopped. But if something's got some momentum, then it's a lot easier to move. So we can also apply this to our Krishna consciousness, this 5-minute rule. Okay, I don't have the inspiration or the taste, or I don't have the time to chant, but I can do it for 5 minutes. I don't want to read the Srimad Bhagavatam, but I can do it for 5 minutes. I don't want to distribute books, but I can distribute books for 5 minutes. And then the momentum comes. Krishna actually steps in. So yes, what is my next step? Even if we don't want to do it, let's do it anyway. Let us get out of our comfort zone. Like this, yeah. And now we're going to finish with the essence of all advice. This is ultimately how we get the taste in Krishna consciousness. So yes, now we're going to finish with the essence of all advice. This is known as the Upadesha Sharan. This is from Srila Prabhupada's Nectar of Instruction. And we should understand that this is the goal. This is what we're aiming for. This will give us the taste that we're all looking for. The essence of all advice is that one should utilize one's full time, 24 hours a day, in nicely chanting and remembering the Lord's divine name, transcendental form, qualities and eternal pastimes, thereby gradually engaging one's tongue and mind. In this way, one should reside in Vraj, Goloka, Vrindavan, Dham, and serve Krishna under the guidance of devotees. One should follow in the footsteps of the Lord's beloved devotees who are deeply attached to his devotional service. So thank you very much for watching this video. We hope some of it has been helpful and useful and inspiring. Please, if you haven't already, like this video, subscribe to the channel. We release a video every week, every Friday. Leave a comment on the video. Please tell us, how you like to get a taste in Krishna consciousness. Please tell us how you like to utilize your time. Yes, and please share this video with your friends. And we'll see you next week for the next one. Hare Krishna, Gauranga.